Y'all, so Adam and Andrea made that video. You have some like insanely talented people in this church. It's so cool. But yes, like the video said, we're going to be packing up for a year and moving to Iraq. Look at me.
Look at you.
I'm growing.
Growth, guys.
I say Iraq. I'm American. Come on. But yeah, oh my gosh. What was I going to say? I got distracted because I'm like, George W. says it Iraq. So that's what we say. Okay. I heard it said, actually our boss said it to us on our prayer, National Day of Prayer Zoom call. He said, you don't ever graduate from worship and prayer. You don't ever graduate to more theological things than worship and prayer. And as much as I love theology, like we geek out over all of the deep theological thoughts in the Bible. We love all the Nephilim stuff and all the amazing things that are really weird in the Bible. We love it. But we never graduate from worship and from prayer. And I'm gonna add another thing to that. You don't ever graduate from the Great Commission to go. I say it all the time. We wanna sit at the feet of Jesus, but then we wanna become the hands and feet of Jesus. We wanna behold the one, but then we wanna become like the one that we behold. And that is by going. And so when we transitioned out of our last church, you're gonna talk a little bit about it today. When we transitioned out of that place, I heard the Lord say this. This is really weird, and it was very pointed to me. He said, you're gonna have to give up your back porch. And if you know me at all, you know that my back porch we bought our house because of the back porch. Like that's literally why. It was like the house was fine, whatever, but the back porch is huge and I just sit on it and that's where I have my daily time with the Lord. That's where we just play. We have so much fun out in the back porch and the Lord said, you're gonna have to give it up. And I was like, I don't know what that means. And fast forward like about a year and a half later, the Lord clearly said it's time for you guys to go for 12 months. But Kayla, why don't you give some more information?
One of the great things about, being partners in life, being married, is that sometimes there's going to be the flows in and out. And so for him, it's a season kind of giving up of what he has really loved and enjoyed in the place that he has encountered the Lord the most on the porch. But for me, stepping into the Middle East is the fulfillment of prayers that have been 2 decades in the making, that I have prayed for 20 years to be able to move to the Middle East. Since I was a little girl, I told my parents I was going to be a missionary. I wanted to reach Muslims. And there's a C.T. Studd quote that says, there's some who want to live under the sound of a church or chapel bell, but me, I want to run a rescue shop within a yard of hell. And that has been such a burn inside of me that I want to be on the front lines. I want to be in that place where we're bringing worship and prayer to the front lines and watching the enemy lose ground. And we're going to be ministering to Kurds, who are historically the most oppressed people in all of history. And they have a saying that says, we have no friend but the mountains, because the only place they have found refuge is in those mountains of northern Iraq. That's where they've had to hide from ISIS. That's where they've had to hide, throughout all of history. But what we want to come is we want to show that Jesus is a better friend than the mountains, that he is the place of refuge and safety. And so we're so excited to be stepping into this opportunity. And we want to invite you as part of our church as to be sending, to be the family that supports us, that sends us out, that prays for us daily. We see every testimony that comes out of our time there as what you have sown in, that when you're sowing in through support, through prayer, that becomes your testimony, that every person who has been saved, healed, delivered, baptized, set free, that is a testimony that you have taken part in. So whether you're a goer, whether you're a sender, you are a part of the Great Commission. So I just want to invite you as our church family to be part of sending us out into the nation of Iraq.
Come on, us.